Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and update number one on Revell's Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. What a fun kit. This is going to be kind of a top secret thing, so we only have a few of the crew members working on it. So let me get them out of the way, and we're going to talk about what's going on here. Tim's been wanting a Jeep for a long time. He says he's always wanted to go mudding, so that's what the guys are doing. I am using Gallery's Kaleido Emerald Green on this. I really I like that color, and it's going to look great with the black accents and everything else we're doing. So first thing, um, like I said, I'm using the Kaleido colors on here, and I used for the first time I used their gray primer. Their gray primer works fantastic, and again, zero smell. It goes on. I let it dry overnight. The next day, I was able to lightly, because I didn't need a whole lot, but I lightly wet sanded it and then took it straight to the booth. And with that, we painted it the emerald green. This is just a quick shot of me shooting the body. I was having a fun with this. That's my TG, the new TG airbrush that they sell, and it puts down the paint. Just a second here, this thing will flip over and it'll show you the green going on. Here we go. This is second coat of green, and look at my thumb. It's the only green thumb I got right there. But it does. It covers well. The paint is awesome. Again, this is their Kaleido's base color, emerald green, and look at how nice it just drops on there real well. And to be honest with you, I figured out I'm moving too slow. I could be moving a lot faster than that. I almost put too much paint down. And here I figured it out, and we started moving a lot faster. So, and I'm telling you, I didn't go through nearly the paint that I did on the first coat. And I could almost get away with just one coat and done. But this does cover real well. And on top of that, let's switch back over to the camera, and I'm going to flip this up on its side. I've learned a bunch of stuff here. I can use Tamiya's polishing compound on it if I want. Panel liner works awesome on this. It runs like crazy. And then I have these pointed Q-tips that I've been using to where, you know how you put the little brush for the panel liner on there and it leaves a circle. These things take that circle off of there and leave no trace. I mean, no trace at all. But I did this last night. It dried on there nice and solid, and no drama. No drama at all. While we got it tilted up, I'm going to pause here real quick. But I wanted to pause just for a second because I wanted to bring up, we're lighting this thing. That's why you see I cut the hood off. And I wanted to show you, I made a neat little magnet mount for the hood. But I dropped the hood and knocked the magnet off, and it's still, the super glue's drying. But that's going to drop on there, and it's going to lock in to this magnet super tight. And that's just a piece of U-channel that I glued up underneath where the pin is for the hood, for this piece to actually glue up to the hood. So we're going to have to do a little finagling here to get this to all lock in, but it's almost a snap tight kit, so it won't be bad. I cut the hood off, and I'm telling you, it went. I was nervous as heck with it, but it went great. I used my panel liner, my trumpeter panel liner cutter, and just slowly went around the top here, around this, and then cut back across over here, and then cut across the top. Not going through everything at the same, I got this to where it was real close. I got this all the way. So this was all the way cut out. And then I cut this back to where you could see through it. And when you do it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Then I started cutting this piece through the hinges, and I did it till that was all the way cut through. So the front and back was all the way cut through. And then I finished off running that knife down across these two sides until I got the hood popped off. And it worked out good. It didn't take a whole heck of a long time. Maybe 40 minutes, hour at the most. But I did that because this is a curbside, and I wanted to put the engine or the battery box in here. I've talked about the resin for the headlights. Let me give these a quick pop. See, for the headlights and how I use the resin to glue these headlights in. And I told you I'd do a quick video on it, and here it is. All right. These are the LEDs I've been using. They're an 0404 LED. And what I do to start with it is I'll take these and hold them in my fingers just like this and twist the dog snot out of them. These I'm not going to go all the way to the end. I don't need to because I'm going to cut this off. But that's what I'm looking for, is a good twist in there. And then I drill a hole in the light lens. On this one I drilled it at an angle this way and off center, so I can pull the LED in and have the LED centered up in the center of the hole. I'm going to set this down, I'm going to pause it and get the resin ready, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I have here is just the UV resin. This is on the link below. I think it's at the very bottom now. For what I got at Amazon. There's the UV light. That this thing's huge. It'll go over top of a whole car. Toothpick and a water bottle with the UV in it. And what I'm working on. So let's bring it down here as far as I can. And I know this is going to focus on my knuckles instead, but this is the best I can do with this camera. So I'm going to try to stay out. What I'm doing is I'm taking a cute toothpick and I'm going to put a glob on there, and I'm going to set it just like that. And that's not going anywhere. I'm going to move this UV resin out of the way, and then I'm going to take this light. I'm just going to set it over top of it and turn it on. And for 1 minute, that'll be blue. So I'll pause you when we get back. All right, the light just went off. Let's get that out of the way. I'm going to pull you back in here. I'm going to bring this up and see how that glued that thing right in place. It's not going anywhere. It's as easy as that. And it's better than super glue because it keeps it all clear. Well, that's worth the $9, I think. Okay. So I hooked it up and hooked it up to the battery. So check this out. There you go. It's not going anywhere. And I found if the LED messes up on this chrome, you can pop that resin off of there, snip the wire, and then pull everything back if you ever have to rerun them. But that's bright enough. All right, back to the show. So that's how I did those. And it's simple. It really is. And it's just going to hook up to one of those battery holders that I have. I actually ordered a boat ton of these things. And it just holds a CR2032 battery. It'll drop down in here, or I'll probably foam tape it in here to where it's not going to go anywhere. But what I'm really proud of is my tail lights. I wanted them lit, so I couldn't figure out a good way because there's not a whole lot of room in the back of this thing the way everything goes together. I do have a little gap in here where the pin comes in, that'll be underneath this. So I figured I could run the wires over top of here. And you see right here, I cut a gouge in this with a file. Just dug it right in there with a file. Just went crazy with it so that that wire will lay flat here, because this panel lays on here so dang tight that I really needed to get that wire out of the way. So I did that, and then I came back here with this light, and I drilled a hole through the light itself and through the pin itself and in for the back tail light. And then I just glued that in with some quick shine. Painted this red, and once I figure out which one is going to go on which side here, I will paint the black on the top and the red, and one side I'm going to leave clear, the other side I'll have black, so that you'll have the side markers. The top will be blacked out on the one and the bottom and this side. The other one, the top will be blacked out. This will be, one side will be red. The other side will stay the clear, so it'll shine down over top of the license plate. So we'll see if it works. But they gave me 2 sets of these, and I'm not sure why. I looked at them real close. They look the exact same. They're both the same number, so I'm hoping there's nothing different between the two. But that's my lights. I also drilled out the bumper light that I have over here somewhere. I haven't done anything more with that because I just painted it black. But I drilled these out offset low, so I can tilt that LED flat and it'll get into the center of these. I'll come back out of here and I'll disappear it, the wire. You'll still be able to see it. I've seen a bunch of them with the I've seen a bunch of them with the these lights on there where you can see the wires. Instead of going straight into the bumper, they come back and then they just kind of disappear and they hide them underneath. So there is that. The LEDs are going to go cool. I'll have a total of 6 LEDs with this kit, which is nothing for 2032 to run for days on end. So I'm still playing with the Kaleido colors. This is out of their primary. This is just gray. That's what it's called, is gray. And I found that, again, the paint or the panel liner works fantastic on this. This is panel lined in here. It looks open, but it's panel lined. And then this piece is panel lined. I also found out that my craft paint that I use all the time paints very well on the Kaleido colors. It goes on real nice. So, and when I say real nice, it goes on way better than I've ever had with the Tamiya colors. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, I'm talking about the Kaleido colors. It goes on better. The panel liner does too. And I didn't quick shine this. I didn't clear coat it. I didn't do anything like that. Where with the Tamiya paints, even the gloss, I found that I pretty much have to use either the quick shine or a clear coat of some type to make the panel liner run the way it's running with this. So I'm super stoked with that. I got the rims. That's just aluminum, and it's the Kaleido aluminum and black panel liner. And I did a real light panel liner around the outer ring of this and came back and rubbed the brush on the top, or the Q-tip on the top, to take most of it off. And then I left it heavy down there. But man, the detail in this kit is really good. And it's not a cheap kit. Even on sale, it's not a cheap kit. But I wanted it bad. And now I want the other one too. The floor, I haven't done anything with the dull coat or dulled it down or anything. I do want the gray carpet along with the gray seats. But I had to paint up all the little stuff here, and somewhere on this mess of a desk, I made a coffee cup to go in there. I just don't know where I put it. I still have to paint it up yet, but I'm going to have a coffee cup in here, like a stainless Yeti that'll go in there. And then the seats, I wanted to jazz them up a little bit. So I painted them the gray, and then I came back with my black craft paint and hand brushed all that in there. And like I said, it flows real nice. I did put a drop of water in with the craft paint to make it flow the way I wanted it to, but I didn't have any problems with it at all. I did that, and the reason why I'm doing these colors is because I saw it online and I liked it a lot. And the seat in the back, how cool is that? And that's going to be really neat in there with all the other stuff. The dashboard, man, I'm telling you, I was having fun with the dashboard. I panel lined everything, and I'm using black panel liner on this gray. And I panel lined all this and the vents. And these are actually supposed to be black, but after I got done panel lining it, I didn't have the heart to paint over them. So I had left them the gray too, along with this. And when I was spraying this, I didn't spray down in here with the gray. I thought that was supposed to be black until I looked at my reference picture after the fact, and it was supposed to be gray. So I took some of the Kaleido paint, put it in a spoon. I've been using spoons like crazy here, test painting and doing different things. I put it in a spoon, and then I just brush painted that on there. And it did really well. It's thin, but it painted well. So you can touch up brush paint with the Kaleido paints too, which I was kind of worried about because they are very thin, but it covered, it ran, it leveled it, it did everything the way I wanted it to. I will come back and hit these with quick shine. I don't want to hit them with a gloss. The quick shine will make it sound like a semi-gloss. Same with the seats. They're already kind of glossy. So I'll just do the black on the seats to bring that up to match this. And that's what I want to do with the dash. And then I'll do the gauges. And the next update, which will probably be close to the finish, because this is really going fast. But I'll do the gauges, and then I'll do the same resin that I did on the headlights. I'll put that resin in here using a toothpick. I'll make sure that it's nice and flat because it'll have a tendency to pull up a little bit on the sides. And if you come up with the toothpick and just barely touch that little where it drops down in there, the surface tension's keeping it from flattening out. If you just barely touch that with the toothpick, that'll flatten out real nice for you in there. But then hit it with the light, and it'll smooth that all out. It'll look just like the gauges. And we'll do something in here. I know this is supposed to be red and black and a couple of different things, but man, that's tiny. But nice detail in there. I might even come back and hit this with gray panel liner after I'm done with the quick shine on there. But there is that. My transfer case. I panel lined that last night, and it really brought up the details on it. Like I said, there's a lot of nice details for a curbside kit. If you just want to light something and have it look really good, that's not supposed to be aluminum, but I was having fun with the aluminum. Another test, but we'll talk about that in a second. The detail in this thing is fantastic for just curbside, almost a snap together. And you have to follow the directions I'm seeing where you got to go step 1, step 2, step 3, because they kind of stack together like a puzzle to lock everything in. The front suspension, I've been messing around with. I will probably have to drill these out a little bit bigger again now that I painted it. But these are supposed to go, this will go down and lock into the frame right here on either side, these two little hooks. And then these pieces go up into here and they get screwed in. so it'll be nice and flat in there. Well, I messed around with this thing the other day with a file, and it's tight, so I'll probably scratch the snot out of the paint. But what I found is I could make it to where I could have this one side up and the other side like that, and I'm going to glue them in place like that. And I'll have one tire higher off the ground than the other one, and I'm going to take and glue a rock to that tire. So we'll go with that. But that'll be cool. It'll be a little bit different. Again, look at the detail in here. I painted this with the Kaleido Black, and then I came back along with this, the chassis, the underside. I paint, and look at what I did. I say I try to get it, and this showed up when I was painting it, and I was already in for $1, so I'm hoping the frame covers that up. But I painted all that with the black, and it was gloss, really gloss, and I wanted a semi-gloss, even though I am going to dirty this thing up like crazy. So I hit it with their matte varnish, and it toned it down to this. And last night, before that matte was even 3 hours old, I came back and I painted the transmission with the aluminum. And this is Tamiya paint over top of the matte finish, the Kaleido matte finish. And look at how nice the Tamiya paint laid down on there. There's no brush strokes or anything. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to play with this some more since I had it out. I had my flat brush out. And I did the gas can with it too, or the gas tank with it too. And look at it. Not a single brush stroke in there. And it never fails when I do the Tamiya paint over top of anything. And now this was black. This was this color black when I did that. Same with this. It leaves brush strokes. It shows through and everything. That's one coat. So yeah, I'm very impressed. The blue now, I'm not going to lie, I screwed up. I just reached up like I always do, grabbed the paint off of the thing, opened it up, stirred it, started painting it. It looked really good. It dried flat. I'm like, what the heck? And I looked over, and here, when I put the paints back up, because I got updated paints, I grabbed the flat paint. So I came back. This is 2 coats of the blue over top of the flat, and I didn't leave it dry long enough. So I got a little bit of color difference in there between the two of them, but it's fine. The other thing I just noticed is there's a lower radiator hose in here that I am going to hit with the rubber black. But this is all just about ready for me to start making very, very, very muddy. I'm going to start out with dry brushing the XF60 on here like I always do. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to take, and I don't know where the bottle is. It's over on the other table. But I'm going to take Mod Podge. I have matte Mod Podge instead of the gloss. I'm going to take that. I'm going to mix it with some brown acrylic, the craft paint, and dirt from the garden. I'm going to grind that dirt up into a powder, almost like flour. And I'm going to put that in with it. And then we're going to mud this thing up like crazy. But I have to do the panel line, or the dry brush part first, so that I can get it on all the nooks and crannies, because this sits down over top of this, and then the suspension sits down over top of that. So I got to do it in layers, or else it'll show really bad. So I'm going to dirty this up. I'll dirty this up. We'll do our suspension up with the dry brush. Then I'm going to put it all together, and I'm going to take some of my old crummy, crappy brushes that I just don't have the heart to throw away. And I'm going to just start getting mud in here. I'm going to load this thing up. The tires. You see, I didn't do anything with them. I'm going to dry brush the tires. And then I'm going to take that stuff and we're going to get mud on these tires. We're going to get mud on the body to the point to where I want to have it to where it's way up in here. I'm going to get it to where it's on the interior. This thing's going to get real muddy. The one thing I'm not going to get any mud on, though, is one of the driver's side seat, because he's going to be sitting there holding the wheel. So there's going to be mud everywhere. I'll get it on the sides, but where he's sitting, I'm going to leave that clean. Oh, that'll be fun. But I do got a long way to go before I'm to the point to where I muddy up the body, because I want to have, again, I want to have the hood on. I want to have everything pretty much done when I start tagging that body, because I want that to be all where it's even, if you know what I mean. So we are at that point now to where it's time for me to start dry brushing everything. Like I said, everything painted great. No problems. I was playing yesterday putting the stuff on. Look at the satin I got out of that. And that's that black paint. That's the same one that I got the gloss on here. And I painted this first. I painted these two things first in the suspensions. And then I painted these, and I thought, oh, you know what? If I go real quick farther away, I'll get that satin look. And I sure as not did. That looks just like that plastic. So I'm tickled the way that worked out. I'm going to remember that trick. I did it on the bumpers and everything too. So so they look the part. And then they're going to be dirty as heck when I'm done anyhow. But I want to make sure that I start dirtying from the sides and the top. I'm going to get it all over the place where this thing's going to really be mudded out. And it's the first time I've ever done that. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really psyched to give it a shot. But with that, I think I'll let you go. I've bothered you long enough. Let's thank Gallery, because, geez, they really hooked us up with all the paints and everything, and I'm learning a ton on how everything's going. If you're interested in getting their paints, they're having good sales on their webpage right now. Use Grandpa Mark. You get another 10% off your whole order. Let's thank our veterans, our active duty people, and our first responders, because without them, we couldn't be doing what we're doing today. I salute each and every one of you. Thank you very much. And then we'll come back to this, where I want to mention again, October 11th is going to be a 24-hour group build. Not only will we be on the Grandpa Mark's Hobbies group page, so if you're not a member, sign up over there, and you can join in with us. But Bruce and Jason and I are going to be live on each one of our channels together at the same time. So all three of us will be on each one of our channels. And we'll be trying to bring people in and out throughout the night. And also we'll have Lennis will be in the background with us. Zach's going to be here the whole time, just keeping everything going for us and just trying to keep everything smooth. Bruce is going to be the man, though. He's going to be our technical guy. So I want to thank him. I want to thank Jason for really getting me going with this. We got a GoFundMe page set up now. You can leave a donation. The link is the first one in my description. So if you want to do it now, you can. If you want to wait till the 24-hour build, you can. If we get $2,000 worth of donations before midnight, Zach's going to shave my stinking head, beard, and mustache. So you want to see that. He's going to do it live right while I'm building. But with that, I will let you go. Y'all have a great day, a better tomorrow, and thank you very much for watching.